Okay, I think the hardest part to get your thoughts around with these is that you're given a problem like this where you have two ropes and you're asked to find the difference in the length of the two ropes, and you're not going to come up with some kind of integer answer. You're not going to come up with an answer that is the difference is 15 centimeters or something like that. You're going to come up with an algebraic expression. So let's take a look at this problem. And let me just make sure I'm all set up here so I can see what I'm doing. Here we go. All right, good. So the longer rope here, the longer rope is 12.5x plus 17 centimeters. And the shorter rope is 5x plus 0.4 W centimeters. And you just kind of have to go through this and take a look for keywords and have some faith in what you're doing. It's not easy to make sense of these answers. In fact, at first they may not make any sense to you. It says find the difference in the length. So we know the difference is an indication that we're doing subtraction. So I will subtract from the longer rope the length of the shorter rope. So I've set up my equation, and let me try a different color here. Remember, when we are subtracting this quantity, the first thing we have to do is I'm going to put a 1 there to help you get your mind around the fact that we have to distribute this negative, which is like distributing a -1. So I'm going to take away the parentheses here. -1 times 5x is -5x. -1 times 0.4w is minus 0.4w. Now I'm going to write this in alphabetic order. So I'm going to start with w, -0.4w. There are no other terms with w in it. There are, however, two x terms. 12.5 minus 5 is going to give us plus 7.5x, and then 17. So I've got that. So the description of the length, the description of the difference in the lengths is this algebraic expression. And I suppose we should put centimeters. The next problem, we are given the radius of a circle and we're asked to find the circumference. So the radius of the circle is given to us as 7n minus 21. And the circumference of a circle, if you don't have it, there are formulas in the back of the textbook. I believe you could look up circumference of a circle, and there is a glossary section and a calculator guide, and I can tell you right now that circumference is on page 312 in the back of your book in a section that outlines tables of measurements, formulas, and symbols. So starting on 311, you will see all the information you need when solving some of these problems. And the circumference of a circle is found by multiplying 2 times pi times r. And it tells us in this particular problem, we are going to use pi in the form of 22 over 7. So let's just substitute in the formula what we know. Circumference is equal to 2 times 22 over 7 times radius, which we are told is 7n minus 21. PEMDAS tells us to do this multiplication first. 44 over 7 times the quantity 7n minus 21. Now, we will distribute, and by distributing, we end up with 44 over 7, and I'm doing this for a reason, times 7n, minus 44 over 7 times 21. And when you're working with these problems, I don't know if you've covered it before, but when we're doing 44 over 7 times 7 over 1, we can notice that this makes the number 1. 7 over 7 is the number 1. So we can say that 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 7 once, and that way we aren't working with really big numbers. We actually cross these out, and we get 44n minus the same over here, only it's a little bit different. We have 44 over 7 times 21 over 1, and we can pull out a common factor. 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 21 3 times, and then we just multiply 3 times 44. 3 times 40 is 120, 3 times 4 is 12, 120 plus 12 is 132. We can write it this way, or we can pull out of here, I think we can pull 44, and I think this turns out to be n minus, 44 times 3, n minus 3. Either answer would be fine. So this, again, is the circumference. It's the distance around the circle. And if anybody were to tell us what the value of n was, we'd actually be able to calculate a quantity that doesn't have a variable in it. But it said it was inches, so it is 44 times quantity n minus 3 inches, or 44n minus 132 inches. Now let's take a look at number 4. And I'm going to do this using a ribbon approach because that's the way the author approaches these. And I don't know if he did this much last year. But we have a red ribbon and we have a yellow ribbon. And the ratio of the ribbons is 17 to 6, red to yellow. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 17 here. And I'll mark those. We're going to depict the ratio of 17 to 6 by drawing these ribbons. So there's 17 boxes in that ribbon. And there's going to be 6 boxes in this ribbon. And each box is the same size. That's how we form the ratio, 17 to 6. The information that we have tells us that the length of this entire ribbon is 2m plus 5. So this entire ribbon is 2m plus 5 long. That means each piece is 2m plus 5 divided by 17 because there are 17 pieces. And I said we formed the ratio by making sure that each box was the same size. So that makes the length of this box 2m plus 5 divided by 17. Notice it doesn't matter that this is a different ribbon. The size of this box is 2m plus 5 divided by 17. We can transfer that size since this is the same size to this problem. And this is 2m plus 5 is the size of this box. But to get the length of this ribbon, we have to multiply that by 6. So we are going to do 6 times the quantity 2m plus 5 over 17. When I multiply fractions, and this kind of is a fraction here, I multiply the tops and the bottoms. So what I'm going to do now, sorry, that should have been in there. Let me say this again. The red ribbon was 2m plus 5 long. Each box, therefore, since there are 17 of them, is the total length divided by 17. Since we know the size of the box that comes over here, this is the same size box, and there's 6 of those. So we go from total length to size of box. Now we're going from size of box to total length by multiplying this by 6, which is what I'm doing here. I multiply the tops, and I'm going to distribute. 6 times 2 is 12m. 6 times 5 is 30. Over 17 is the total length of the yellow ribbon. Total length of the yellow ribbon based on what we're told about the red ribbon. Finally, let's take a look at problem number 6. If I can get it to lay flatter. There we go. So in this parking garage, you drive into the garage and you're going to pay $4 for the first hour, and then each additional hour is $3.20. So what we did in class today was we tried to figure out, all right, instead of Y hours, how much would it cost for 6 hours? And we realized to get that, we had to take $4 for the first hour, and then we had to multiply 5 by 320. Sorry, this isn't a time. This is dollars. And we could do that to get the cost of parking there for 6 hours. The first hour costs $4, and the next hour's 5. After the first hour, 6 minus 1 is 5. After the first hour, we have 5 hours left, and we multiply that times $3.20 to get our cost. So what we did was we took $4 and we added to it $3.20 times y minus 1. The number of hours minus the first hour, the number of hours left after the first hour times 320 plus $4 gives us our total cost. We simplified it. Gathered like terms and rewrote it. 320y, $4 minus 320 is 80 cents. And this is what we used as our representation of the cost. And if I can do it without a calculator, let's figure out what this is. Let's make sure they're equivalent. 320 times 5 would give me 0, 10, 15, $16 plus the $4. So it would cost $20 to park for 6 hours. Let's see what we get here. 320 times 6 minus 80. What I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out for 6 hours, do I get the same amount using my simplified version that I did talking through it at the beginning. 320 times 6, I'll just add 320 times 5, I'll add another 320 to 2320. 2320 minus 80 cents is going to give me do I get the right number here? 2320. 20, I add 320. Oh, this was $20 plus 4. $20 plus the $4. I didn't add the $4 to it. Should have given me $24. $4 minus 320 should have given me a plus 80 cents. Plus 80 cents, plus 80 cents. That gives me my $24. So $4 minus 320 gives me my 80 cents. 320 times y gives me my 320y. And I get the same number each time that I put in 6 hours. Now that you have those explanations, I'm going to ask you to try a couple of problems on your own. Let's try on lesson 7, that same worksheet where there's a link to it. Let's try number 3. Let's try number 5. That's a percentage problem. You may have to refer back to the video I sent yesterday. And let's try number 7 and see where you go. All right, so 3, 5, and 7, and then we'll go from there. Email me if this left you wondering what you're supposed to do or if you have any questions about the problems. Thanks.